We're looking at a Fox News reaction to the Democrats' current strategy.
So we got another fight on our hands, and that is the future of the Democratic Party.
All right. So, Dana, the unpopularity of the Democrats combined with this fracture they have with the far left, how does that shape up for the future for the Democrat Party?
It's a calamity. And I don't
Watch your mouth.
That's a big word, I know, for a Monday. So things are bleak when even the Washington Post news side said the Democrats are leaderless. And that is just the truth. And I know that it's true that they always go through every party goes through this for a while, but they're losing on every which way you turn around. Now, that's not necessarily true. And I know that they won the state representative case in...
I haven't even said anything yet.
I know what you're going to say. But they won that off-year election in Iowa.
But look at the polling.
That's literally what Kornacki does that he led the segment with.
Yes, and they're less popular than ever. And I think the other thing is that, one, it's clear that the results from the Biden administration are continuing to have an effect. Immigration, soft on crime policies.
That's interesting. Typically, you hear at this point presidents saying, hey, what's happening now is because of my presidency. They're saying the Biden presidency still has an effect. I've heard a lot of people say, well, when can you keep using that excuse that the Biden presidency still has some effect?
Spending $8 billion to build 8 EV stations when you could have been spending it somewhere else. So now you take the border issue that President Trump solves, but you still have the lingering effects of all the border problems continuing. Then President Trump adds another layer. He says, all right, I'm going to focus on crime. And the Democrat says, there's no crime. Let us show you 25,000 statistics to show that crime is down. Meanwhile, people are saying, but crime here and crime there and crime. And they don't know how to get up and say, you're right, and do something like Bill Clinton did. How do you think Mark Penn helped Bill Clinton win again for re-election? He said, you know what? We are failing everywhere. What America wants is the voters want somebody who is weak. They will vote for weak over strong every time. Let's think about 2004 re-election. We're in the middle of a war, right? It's after 9/11. The people ultimately decided that John Kerry was weaker on defending the country than President Bush was. And that's what happens. So I think that this whole idea that the Republicans can use Mamdani as this foil and say, oh, wow. So Abigail Spanberger, thank you. How do you feel about this on Mamdani? What about this? What's that guy's name down in New Jersey? Mikey Sherrill. It's not a guy, it's a girl. Mikey Sherrill. How do you feel about Mamdani? Though they might still win their elections, but the rest of these characters, there should be so much money spent about Mamdani saying, I know that socialized grocery stores didn't work anywhere else, but trust me, in my early 30s, I will bring a successful free grocery store to your neighborhood. Give me a break.
If you don't have a reference point, Mamdani is currently running for mayor in New York. Mamdani is a self-proposed socialist, so a lot of Republicans are very much against socialism, and so it's been a big battle right now. Andrew Cuomo's looking at going against him, so is Eric Adam and the Independent Party. But Mamdani did win the Democrat primary. This is a big news for a socialist to actually win a primary in maybe the major city of the Democrat Party.
Free groceries, Greg. It's all you've ever wanted.
It's always been free for me. I walk in any store, people just throw food at me. Incredible. Tomatoes, oranges,
eggs,
half-gallon jugs of milk. This Democratic Party is like me freshman year in college when I got dumped by my girlfriend. I was an obnoxious drunk. And then I looked and I saw, well, what was she going for? And this guy was in shape. He was a Sigma Nu, which I think or Fiji. And I'm like, you know what? I got to get in shape. I got to start being what people want, right? I got to cut back on the booze, start eating better, get in shape. The Democrat Party has to look in the mirror and figure out what is wrong.
I do want to say, I think everybody's looking to see what will the Democrat Party do. After the last election, Democrat Party got beat really, really bad. People were like, okay, well, so that didn't work with Kamala Harris. So what are you going to do now? I remember even after Kamala Harris lost, people were like, well, is she going to run again? No, she's probably not going to run again. So who are they going to go for? Is it Newsom? Is it somebody else? They're trying to figure out what is their winning strategy.
Trump could help them. Trump could save the Democratic Party if they let him. He's got the common sense lane. If you keep refusing to, and by the way, he wants to share the lane. Anytime anybody sticks out their hand to him, he grabs it. So if you refuse that, then you're going to be on the outside, always looking in. And it's like you said, it goes back to the A block, crime. It's like, here, this is an area where if you continue to mention the same woke pathologies, racial injustice, equity, and that stuff, you're done. You're toast. And you deserve to die. You deserve to die. Because you keep lecturing us on why one group's
I think he's referring to the Democrat Party's like influence dying. I hope so. I'm pretty sure he's referring to the influence of the Democrat Party dying. Yes, we're gonna go with that.
Problems matter more than ours. We don't listen to it anymore. You guys have completely lost. I'm sorry, Jessica, and I clued you into this, even though you're a dear friend. Your party has lost all credibility because you lied to us about so many things. And if you don't repudiate your past, you're going to commit it again and again and again. So we're waiting for you guys to say, look, we screwed up. That's all I ask.
Will you say that, Jessica? Will you say we screwed up?
People have been saying that left, right, and center. You just won't accept it.
Will you?
But Biden was
edible arrangement.
You can just keep moving the goalposts, and we'll see what happens when the midterm comes. I don't want to be embarrassed like my dear friend Jesse and do any big predictions of what's to come.
I'm incapable of being embarrassed.
That is your superpower.
It's a gift.
But there are
I wish I had.
two main indicators for why I think Steve Kornacki is wrong about what's going to happen in the midterms. The first is that J.D. Vance is saying himself that the Republicans are going to lose, telling Laura Trump on Saturday. The bad news is one of the pollsters once told me that anger usually wins midterm elections. And because we've done so much of what we said we were going to do, people are angry. So thank you, JD. The second one is that the big, beautiful bill has an approval rating of -22. And the Republicans had to have an emergency meeting last week with Tony Fabrizio, their pollster, to work on a rebrand. So they want to call it now the Working Families Tax Credit Bill or something like that. But people know what it is. It's a tax break for the rich, and they're going to take away.
For the midterms, a lot of the times it comes down to the economy. Where's the economy at? So the Republican president comes in, Trump came in 2024, 2026 is the midterms. So by the time 2026 comes around, how well can you get the economy going? How that feels to the American people, that usually helps determine of who will win the midterms. This big, beautiful bill definitely has a positive or a negative effect because of the size of the bill on the economy.
You mean like the Inflation Reduction Act?
It doesn't matter. This is the thing.
That?
See, you won in 2024. Act like it. You have a new election coming. You have to defend yourself each time. We lost in 2024. That's why I say we've been admitting it. Biden was too old. He shouldn't have been the candidate. People chose Donald Trump over Kamala Harris. We're working on identity politics. We're working on good economic policy. The voters are saying that they are not into this. He is underwater in every single major category. -2 on crime, -6 on border security, -14 deportation.
What are you above water on?
Democrats are
-22
worse,
inflation.
Jessica. That's the point of the segment.
No,
is
it is a
as terrible as you
referendum
think
on
that
the
Republicans are,
administration.
the Democrats are even worse.
No,
we have to
just
get Paul in. We have to get Paul in.
Well, I was going to say exactly what you just said. So
What I just said?
What he just said. Look, they can run on one.
Yeah, I mean, I've heard a lot of people. I have friends who vote Democrat, friends who vote Republican, and I have a lot of Republican friends who say, "Hey, I voted for Trump for these reasons. I wanted this, I wanted that." And then I'm hearing a lot of them say right now, "Hey, I don't like what he's doing. I didn't vote for that thing. I did not vote for him to do that. I didn't know he was going to do that." This could have a crazy effect on midterms coming up if the voters feel like they weren't getting what they thought they were getting.
Run on one thing, change. That's it. You're going to hear a lot of that. It's time for a change. Time for a change. What does the change look like? We don't seem to be getting it. Right now, I got a couple of questions. Number one, government-run grocery stores, right? Will we be allowed to shoplift? All right.
So.
I mean, that's a reasonable question under the conditions that they've created, right?
Provided there's something worth stealing.
Is everything going to be locked up?
Yeah.
Like it is now? I mean, what's the story going to be? This
not
is
all free.
like being told, hey, I got a headache. You know, what could be worse than this? I can't get rid of this headache. Got it for 3 days. You go to the doctor. He says, I got bad news for you. You got brain cancer. Yeah. That's the difference between what's going on right now. You may not love everything and how it's going right now, but then you look at the alternative and you say, wait a minute, you're going to tell me that the Zohran Mamdanis of the world are going to run this? And Jessica, that's where the party is. You can roll your eyes, but that's where you guys are right now, man.
I
mean, you and I both know. You and
I
I both know that Sanders was supposed to be the nominee. This is where the party is right now. So there's two. One last quick question here. Excuse me. Crime. I get that. Donald Trump's doing something else, and the left better wake up to it because he's going to eat your lunch on this, which is fentanyl. He's doing all of this stuff relative to Venezuela. He's instituting something called the Trump Doctrine. Who's named that? I've named it. And it is a continuation of the Monroe Doctrine.
All right, so big points is that these Fox News panelists think that the socialist policies of the left that they are starting to promote, like the Mamdanis of the world, like Bernie Sanders, AOC, that these are actually going to crash for their midterms, that the people in the center left in this side of the Democrat Party aren't going to be willing to even vote for these people. They also think that they're focusing too much on DEI, on woke policies, and that it's going to cause them to lose another election. Her big take is that Trump's big policies that people didn't vote for, that people don't want, are going to cause the Republicans to lose the midterm, sort of like the big beautiful bill. They're saying, hey, we didn't want the big beautiful bill. We didn't want these huge omnibus massive bills, and many Republicans aren't going to come out and vote. I want to know your opinion, whether you're conservative or a liberal. What is the winning strategy for the Democrat Party? Put your opinion in the comments. Don't forget to like, subscribe, share with a friend. I'll see you next time.